Hey guys, Power1701 here, and today we're going to talk about the trailer for the new Dune movie, the remake of Dune. And I really enjoyed the trailer for the most part. The only issue I had was when it started playing that cover of Dark Side of the Moon. I didn't really care for that. I love Dark Side of the Moon, I love Floyd, but that cover of it it doesn't fit with Dune for me. I prefer more epic, orchestrated music for that, much like the 1984 movie had. But the movie looks good. It looks like exactly what I want from a Dune movie. Large scale, epic, big budget. Because for me, I love the 1984 film. I've been watching, I've got that childhood nostalgia for it. I've been watching it since I was little. It had very impressive special effects that hold up really well even today. It had one of the best soundtracks in cinema. The soundtrack to the 1984 Dune, I own 3 copies of it. I have 2 CD copies and a digital copy on iTunes. I consider it to be one of the top 25 soundtracks of all time. It's by Toto. Right after they were coming off their Grammy wins for their Toto 4 album, which is the album that had Africa and Roseanne on it. They won several Grammys for that, and they did a really good job with the soundtrack to that movie. So I really want an epic soundtrack for this new movie. I'd even like maybe little snippets of the music from the 84 movie sprinkled in this one, just kind of for fans of the 84 movie to go, ah. But it looks good. I love the design. I love the visual. It has that cinematic look to it, where it definitely looks like an epic adventure space opera thing, which is what Dune is. Dune is very much an adventure. I've read the main books, the 8 main books, the first 6 by Frank, and then by Frank Herbert, and then the last 2 that finished it up by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, Hunters of Dune and Sandworms of Dune. I've read all 8 of those several times, and then I've also read a couple of the prequel trilogies as well, especially the Butrilian, however you say it, the Jihad one, the Butrilian Jihad, when they fought the thinking machines, which is what led to the thinking machines being outlawed by the time Dune takes place. The casting looks good from what I know. I like Skarsgård a lot. What I've seen him in, he's a good actor. I think he could be a very good Baron. Although I love the guy who played the Baron in the 84 movies, that's going to be hard to top. The guy playing Paul, I don't know much about him, but Paul is supposed to be 15 years old in the book, so that looks about right. Zendaya, the girl who plays Mary Jane now in the Spider-Man movies. I like her. She impresses me as an actress. I think she'll make a good Chani. I'm looking forward to that. I do like a lot of the visual, though. The battles look good. I love that they have the battles look good. The space scenes look good. The worms look good, except for the mouth. The mouth looks really weird on the worms. I'm so used to that tri-lipped mouth from the 84 movie, to where they even used it on the cover of the books. Like Heretics of Dune has a worm on the cover that looks like that. So I'm so used to that mouth, that tri-lipped mouth with the teeth all inside when it opens up, that it kind of throws me off just to see a wide hole. But again, I'm as much as I love the 84 movie, I'm not one of those people that's like, you'll never beat the 84 movie, blah, 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 blah. I'm not one of those people. I'm really approaching this movie with an open mind. I think this movie is going to be what the 84 movie wanted to be, because really the 84 movie only has 1 or 2 things holding it back. The main thing that hurts the 84 movie is having to cram a large book into a short runtime, because in 1984 they just didn't split movies into 2 movies like this one is. The new Dune is actually, they're taking the first book and splitting it into 2 movies, so it has room to breathe, which is what the original 84 movie needed. It needed a longer runtime. I remember, like, back in the 70s, somebody else, some famous person whose name I can't remember, wanted to make a version of Dune, but it was going to be like 6 hours long. But back then, they didn't think of splitting it into 2 movies. That just wasn't done at the time. And the 84 movie, if you get the original theatrical release, it's only 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2.5 hours. It's not nearly long enough to tell the story, and I can easily understand someone who's not familiar with the lore or familiar with that universe, or who hasn't read the book, getting totally confused by what's going on. And for me, I understand it because, again, I started watching it when I was very little, and I had an uncle who's very into sci-fi stuff who would answer the many questions I would have. So he would explain to me what was going on. So I grew up with it because I saw the movie before I read the book. I read the book when I was in I think high school, I believe, when I finally read the first book. If I remember right, high school, college, up in there. And the book, I love the book. The book is great. The book is tops. But the 84 movie, it's much better when you see the expanded version, when it's got like the extra, I can't remember if it's half hour without commercials. I actually own it. I'd have to look. Yeah, this is actually the very first steelbook I ever bought. Now, if y'all have seen my videos, y'all know I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I have a lot of Doctor Who steelbooks. I have some other steelbooks as well, but this was the very first steelbook I ever bought. I believe they released it for its 20th anniversary back in like 2004, and I loved the artwork, and I love this movie quite a bit. So, and it has both versions, the extended and the original. But even the extended version is not enough time to tell the whole story that needs to be told. It's a massive universe that they're building here, and to understand what's so important about this planet, why it's such a necessity, why even though it sucks to live there, people have to live there, and it's kind of the most coveted planet in the universe. To understand the backstories and how all of this stuff relates takes time. And again, the movie didn't have time to flesh this out. The new movie, since they're splitting it in two, looks like it will have time to breathe. Especially, I don't know what the runtime is on it, but even if it's only 2.5 hours, if you have 2.5 hour movies, you have 5 hours to make this work. And I think that's plenty of time. But I love the look. I love the way their still suits look. I like the scene with the hand in the box and the needle at his neck. Although I prefer the 84 movies needle better, because there she's just holding like a nail to his neck like this, and the 84 movie is a little thing that actually slides on her finger with a poison needle, so you could just like that. I thought that was cooler. I haven't really talked about the miniseries. I enjoyed the miniseries. I prefer the 84 movie to the miniseries a lot, but I thought the miniseries had some good scenes, like when the assassin probe is sent after Paul toward the beginning. That looked better than the 84 movie because the way it moved with the CGI, I thought that was better. The scene when he's fighting Fade and he has to bend like a snake and he moves in that unearthly way to shoot past him looks a little cooler because the technology's better. The miniseries was all right. I was so used, especially since it came out at a time when I was, just moving into adulthood, so I kind of wasn't that it'll never be better than the 84 movie mindset. I was so used to seeing the actors I was familiar with playing these characters, so seeing someone else playing them didn't work. Like the guy who played Fade in the miniseries, I didn't like him at all. He's nowhere near as good as Sting. Just now that I'm older, I'm more willing to accept other people playing these roles, and it looks well cast. The new one looks well cast. I'm actually very excited about it. I'm hoping it does come out in December. It really does look epic, and that's what I want. I want this epic, big budget movie that's going to blow me away. I love the way the shields look in the shield training, because the shields were kind of blocky in the 84 movie. I mean, they still look neat, especially for 84. But I like how they're more, instead of being big and blocky, they just kind of show up when they're getting hit. I thought that was pretty cool. But I'm really excited about it. It looks good. I do intend to see it. The trailer looked really, really impressive. So yeah. My thoughts on Dune. I love the book. I love the 84 movie. And I really do think I'm going to love this movie. And I think it definitely has the potential for me to like it even more than the 84 movie, even with my childhood nostalgia attachment to it. It's the soundtrack. To me, it's going to come down to the soundtrack, because I think that's going to be really hard to beat the soundtrack to the 84 when it has such a good soundtrack. But if the soundtrack is as epic and engaging as the visuals look to be, I think the 2020 version could definitely be the better movie. So anyway, I'm Prowl1701. My thoughts on the Dune trailer and how it relates to me and how much I like Dune. Check out my main channel, Prowl1701, PROWL1701, where I talk about all things Star Wars. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications, and most importantly, thank you for watching.